Welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be looking at something that you might not expect, the connection between Catholic education and gym class.
Oh, wow.
Well, officially, it's called Health and Physical Education, HPE.
Right.
But we're going to be digging into this academic paper from the Australian Catholic University
Okay.
that makes this fascinating argument that HPE isn't just about, keeping kids fit. It's actually like a vital part of their spiritual and moral development.
Really? It's such a different way to think about gym class.
I know, right? It really is. Like, I remember HBE being all about dodgeball and, those awkward fitness tests
Yeah.
where you had like touch your toes.
Yep.
But this paper like dives into the like philosophy and the theology behind it
Interesting.
of why Catholic schools see HPE as so much more than that.
So it's not just about the physical.
Right.
It's part of a bigger picture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the paper, traces this whole idea back to the Second Vatican Council in the 1960s,
Mm.
which, if you don't know, was like this major turning point in how the Catholic Church viewed its role in the modern world.
So Vatican II is really about engaging with all aspects of life.
Yeah. And this paper uses that to talk about the physical development being part of like a holistic education.
Okay, so not just, learning your prayers,
Right.
but how to actually live out your faith in a complete way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's about learning how to live a fully integrated life.
Yeah.
And that includes taking care of your physical self.
So HPE can help students connect their physical and spiritual sides.
Yes. And that's what I think is so interesting about this whole thing.
Yeah.
But how does that actually work in practice? Like, how do you go from, running laps to spiritual growth?
Well, the paper breaks this down using the work of Thomas Groome,
Okay.
who is a very prominent Catholic educator.
Okay.
He identified 8 key qualities that make Catholic education unique.
Okay.
And what's interesting is that this paper connects each of these qualities to HPE.
Okay, so that's where the rubber meets the road.
Like, how do these qualities connect to something like playing sports or learning about health?
Well, one of the qualities is appreciation of human potential,
Okay.
which means understanding that every person is created in the image of God
Okay.
and has inherent worth and dignity.
I'm seeing where you're going with this.
Yeah.
So it's not just about being physically fit, but realizing your body is a gift.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The paper really emphasizes that physical challenges in HPE can help students appreciate their bodies and their abilities as gifts from God.
Right. So it's like a way to connect with your spirituality through physical activity.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Okay, so what's another one of these qualities?
Another one is concern for the poor and marginalized,
Okay.
which is really at the heart of Catholic social teaching.
Right.
And HPE can be a place where students learn to live out this value.
I'm curious to see how that works in a gym class setting.
Well, think about team sports.
Yeah.
You need cooperation, collaboration, and putting the needs of the group above your own. So by working together in sports, students learn about social justice and helping others.
Exactly. It's about realizing that we are all interconnected and we have a responsibility to care for one another.
Wow. I'm starting to see how these ideas fit together.
Yeah.
What about some of the other qualities Groome talked about?
Yeah.
I'm really interested in this reverence for tradition. How did that fit into HPE?
Well, you might be surprised to learn that physical activity has a really long history in Catholic tradition.
Really?
Think about the discipline of monastic life, the nightly traditions.
Wait, are you saying that medieval knights were basically doing HPE? That's really interesting.
And the paper even mentions that Pope John Paul II was a big advocate for physical activity.
Oh, wow.
He loved skiing and hiking and often talked about caring for the body as a temple of the Holy Spirit.
So it's not just about old traditions, but recognizing the value of physical activity throughout history.
Exactly. It's an integral part of a holistic Catholic education.
Wow. Okay, so we've covered 3 of Groome's 8 qualities: appreciation for human potential, concern for the poor, and reverence for the traditional limit.
Right.
I'm really interested in hearing how the other 5 connect to HPE.
Well, that's what we'll talk about in the next part of our deep dive.
Perfect.
We'll explore those connections further and see how this Catholic perspective on HPE can teach us all something valuable no matter what our background is.
I'm looking forward to it. Welcome back to our deep dive. We've been exploring this idea that gym class, or HPE, as it's formally known, can actually be a pathway to spiritual growth.
Yeah, a really interesting concept.
Yeah, and we've been using these 8 qualities of Catholic schooling that Thomas Groome came up with as a kind of lens to see how this all fits together.
And we still have 5 more of those qualities to unpack.
Right. Okay, so before the break, we were talking about reverence for tradition. and how physical activity actually has a long history in Catholic thought.
Right.
What's another one of these qualities that like connects to HPE?
Well, one that I think a lot of people can relate to is this idea of a celebration of the human spirit.
Okay.
It's all about finding joy and fulfillment through our human experiences.
Yeah.
And the paper argues that HPE can be a big part of that.
So it's not just about, like gritting your teeth and pushing through those burpees,
Right.
but it's about finding like real enjoyment in moving your body.
Exactly. Think about that feeling you get after a great workout or a close game.
Yeah.
It's a sense of accomplishment.
Oh, totally. Like
Yep.
when you finally nail that yoga pose you've been working on,
Yeah.
or you hit that perfect stride on a run, it feels amazing.
And the paper suggests that this kind of joy and fulfillment that we experience through physical activity can actually point us towards a deeper kind of joy, like a spiritual joy that comes from connecting with something bigger than ourselves.
It's like those moments when you're totally absorbed in an activity and you kind of lose track of time and everything else just fades away.
Yeah,
Athletes talk about being in the zone. And I think we can all experience that in other areas of life too,
absolutely. Yeah.
through prayer or meditation or even just being out in nature.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And the paper argues that HPE can create opportunities for students to have those kinds of transcendent experiences through physical activity.
I love that idea. It's like HPE can be a training ground not just for our bodies, but for our spirits as well.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got celebration of the human spirit checked off the list. What about this idea of a message that makes no borders? How on earth does that connect to gym class?
That one might seem a little strange at first,
Yeah.
but it makes a lot of sense when you think about the power of sports to bring people together.
Yeah, like the Olympics, for example.
Exactly.
People from all over the world speaking different languages,
Yep.
all coming together to compete and celebrate athletic achievement.
Right. And the paper emphasizes that this ability of HPE to transcend borders is especially important in today's world, where we face so many challenges that require global cooperation.
It's like HPE can be a microcosm of the kind of world we want to create, a world where differences are celebrated and we can all work together towards a common goal.
Exactly. And this connects beautifully with the Catholic Church's mission to share the gospel message to all people, regardless of their background. It's about breaking down barriers and building bridges of understanding.
So it's not just about what happens in the gym.
Right.
It's about equipping students with skills and values that they can carry with them out into the world to make a positive difference.
Now, another one of Groom's qualities that the paper explores is the formation of community. This is about recognizing that we're not meant to go through life alone.
Right.
We're meant to be part of something bigger than ourselves.
And I'm guessing this ties into the teamwork aspect of HPE that we talked about earlier.
Exactly. Team sports especially provide a really tangible way for students to experience what it means to be part of community. They learn to rely on each other, support each other, and celebrate each other's successes.
It's like that old saying, there's no I in team. And the paper argues that this experience of community within HPE can help students develop a deeper understanding of the importance of belonging and contributing to something larger than themselves. It's about cultivating a sense of shared responsibility and working together for the common good.
Okay, so we've got 5 down and 3 to go. What's next on our list of Groom's qualities?
The next one is educating for responsible freedom. This is all about helping students develop the ability to make good choices that are in line with their values and that contribute to their own well-being and the well-being of others.
Now, how does that connect to HPE? It's not like they're teaching kids how to vote or manage their finances in gym class, are they?
Not exactly.
Yeah.
But think about the kinds of decisions that students have to make in the context of HPE. They have to decide how much effort to put into their training, how to balance their physical activity with other commitments, and how to handle setbacks and challenges.
Okay, I see what you mean. So it's like HPE provides a safe space where students can practice making responsible choices. Precisely.
Yeah?
And by learning to make wise choices about their physical health and well-being, they're developing skills that can help them in other areas of their lives.
It's like they're building a foundation for responsible decision-making that they can carry with them throughout their lives.
Exactly. And this idea of responsible freedom also connects back to that earlier point about the appreciation of human potential. It's about recognizing that we have the power to make choices that shape our lives and the lives of others, and that with that power comes a responsibility to use it wisely.
This is really fascinating stuff. We've got two more of Groon's qualities to explore, and I'm really curious to know how they tie into this whole HPE thing.
Well, then let's dive into those in the next part of our deep dive. We'll explore how HPE can foster a sense of service to others and how it connects to the idea of creating a just and compassionate world.
All right, we are back for the final part of our deep dive, looking at this paper about how Catholic schools view HPE as more than just gym class.
Yeah, we've uncovered some really interesting stuff.
I know, right? It's been fascinating. So we've been using Thomas Groom's 8 Qualities of Catholic Education as our guide,
Right.
and we've got two more of those qualities to explore.
Yeah, service to others and creating a just and compassionate world.
And those sound like pretty big goals for something like HPE.
They are big goals, but the paper actually makes a good argument for how they can fit together.
Okay, I'm all ears.
hmm
So let's start with service to others.
Hmm.
How does that work with HPE?
Well, think about the values that HPE emphasizes, like teamwork, cooperation, empathy, sportsmanship.
Yeah.
All of those are essential for living a life of service to others.
So it's not just about winning or being the best. It's about learning how to be a good teammate and how to support other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those are important skills that you can use in so many areas of life, not just in sports.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You see it all the time, like athletes who use their platform to raise awareness for certain causes,
Right.
or coaches who mentor young people and help them grow.
Exactly. And this idea of service is really at the heart of Catholic teaching. It's about recognizing the value of each person and using your own talents to help others.
You know, that makes me think about all the stories you hear about Catholic schools and their focus on community service. It's like HPE is another way for them to live out that mission.
It's about building a culture of service both on and off the field.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Okay, so we've covered service to others. What about creating a just and compassionate world? That feels like a huge task for HPE to take on.
It is a big task, but HPE can play a part. Remember when we talked about HPE transcending borders?
Oh, yeah. How sports can bring people together from different backgrounds.
Exactly. The paper suggests that by making those kinds of connections through HPE, we can start to break down the prejudices that lead to injustice and conflict.
So HPE can be like a model for the kind of world we want to live in, where everyone is treated with respect no matter who they are.
Exactly. It's about creating a place where people can come together, compete fairly, and learn from each other.
I love that. So ultimately, these experiences in HPE can help to build a more just and compassionate world.
There's the goal.
This has been such a thought-provoking conversation. I never realized there was so much to gym class.
It's pretty amazing, right? And I think this Catholic perspective on HPE has something to offer all of us, no matter what our background is.
I agree. It's about seeing the connections between our physical, mental, and spiritual selves.
Yeah. And how physical activity can help us grow as people.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you hope people will take away from all of this? What's the big takeaway?
I think the main thing is to remember that physical activity is about so much more than just being in shape.
Right.
It's about developing the whole person, body, mind, and spirit.
And whether you're a student, a parent, a teacher, or just someone who likes to move their body, I hope this deep dive is giving you a new appreciation for what HPE can do.
Me too. It's been great exploring all of this with you.
Thanks for joining us today on this deep dive. We'll be back next time to explore another fascinating topic. And until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.